Since it was the end of March and beginning of April, I was looking through my notebook to see what plants I'd brought in during the month of March, because I could remember a couple of them. But as I looked through the book, it was a case of, oh, I've been busy this last month. So join me today with a tasty beverage close to hand while we take a look at who's new in the plant room for March 2024. First guy we're going to look at today is this Anthurium forgetii. I've been experimenting with Anthuriums. You saw my Veitchii, who's living down here right now, earlier. But I decided to expand a little bit, and based upon Kaylee Ellen's recommendation, there were a couple other Anthuriums that she said were tough. So one of them was forgetii. So I found a nice little plant. He was putting out this leaf when he arrived and decided to finish the job after he got here. So it's not the best new leaf, but all things considered, he'll be fine. He's settled into a nice aeroidy mix, but I've already got a root coming out of the bottom of it, and this hasn't even been 3 weeks. So I think he's liking where he is now. I'm liking him here. So let's wait and see what happens, and I'll keep you updated on this one. Anthurium forgetii. Another of Kaylee Ellen's recommendations was its Anthurium clarinervium. This is another one she said is tough as nails. And it has put out a new leaf since it arrived. That's about 3.5 weeks, so that's not too bad. It's going to have those large veined leaves that I'm looking for, but since I'm kind of new to Anthurium, we're going to see how this goes. I'm not entirely certain, but again, he's in kind of an aeroidy mix. Nothing escaping yet, but that's fine. A new leaf, we're good to go. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Kaylee Ellen said that this Anthurium sizes up quickly. It's been 3 weeks, Kaylee Ellen. I want leaves the size of your head. How about that? But we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. It's pretty right now. I think it's going to be beautiful when he starts putting out the big leaves. Anthurium clarinervium. The next plant that's new here in the plant room, I can't blame on Kaylee Ellen. It wasn't her doing. This one I'm going to blame on Fern. I have not had the best luck with philodendrons. Probably I hadn't given them the attention that I've given to my Hoyas and some of my other plants. And they got, I just wasn't happy with them. But I saw Fern's Philodendron torum. And it was one of those, you see the picture and you go, I want one of those. I'll learn how to grow a philodendron for that plant. I have had a few other philodendrons. I had a Birkin that it was really cool when it was neat. And I got it at a really good price. It was on the back of a shelf in a big box store, and it was like $10 when they were going for all kinds of money. He'd been beaten up, but I nursed him back, and he did fine for a while, but it's just boring. It just didn't, it was cool when it was young and neat, but then it was just like old and ratty like me, and I've already got one of those, so what do I need another one for? And I've got a Philodendron Burla Marx, and we get along fine, but it's nothing, I know what he is. He's not a showpiece in my home. I'm glad he's still alive, but man, maybe some more love on my part would help. But anyway, this torum is settled into an aroidy mix, and he's been here less time than the Anthuriums, or Anthuriae, or Anthurium, that's whatever it is. But there's already roots on the side of the pot, and there's a root coming out of the bottom, provided I don't lose any of the leca or bark. So he's settling in. There's a new leaf unfurling, which is very neat. This isn't even representative of what the leaves look like. Long, thin fingers. Really neat. It's an attention-getting plant. So I'm excited to have it in the collection because I think it's just beautiful. The bonus is I think there's 2 plants in this because I've got one leaf unfurling here, but over here there's another leaf. So that would be very, very cool to have a more lush plant. I'll keep you posted on this one. It's growing, it's putting out roots. We're very, very happy. And we're going to make this philodendron work. Philodendron tortum. Now on to some of the new Hoyas. This first one is Hoya vitellinoides. And I saw the leaves and it was really pretty. The comments I read from plant people that I respect said it's a good, easy plant to grow. So I found one at one of my favorite plant stores, Plants Wake You Up. And they have really great prices. A good price. All the other cuttings I've ever gotten from them have been very healthy. This one shipped with new growth, but the new growth wasn't happy about the shipping, which is fine. That's to be expected. But it was lightly rooted, so I settled it into pon, and we're excited about it. I think the leaves are really pretty. The blossoms, from what I remember of the photographs, were really beautiful as well. So I'm thrilled to have this going on with that kind of Finlaysoni Callistophylla look going. Hoya vitellinoides. The next Hoya to come into the plant room last month is this Hoya stenophylla. I keep trying with this Hoya. I like this Hoya. I think it's really unique, very, very interesting. I haven't been successful with it. So this one came as a very lightly rooted. It was thinking about rooting. It hadn't actually done so yet. So I put it into my traditional setup. And because it's so full, a cup won't fit over the top of it. So I've got it in my cookie jar, my glass cookie jar. Try and keep the humidity up. Give it a chance to really settle in. This also came from Plants Wake You Up. It was a nice, healthy cutting with a good bit of stem on it. So I'm very excited about it. I think these leaves, these skinny leaves, are just, I think Hoya acicularis, which my acicularis lives over there. This plant makes acicularis look fat, which is saying a whole lot. So we're going to let this settle in, get rooted well. It's been a couple of weeks. I don't see anything. Well, nah. You can convince yourself that anything's a root. We're going to give it a couple more weeks, and with luck, I'm going to have good progress to report. Hoya stenophylla. And the last of the new Hoyas for this week is this Hoya verticulata pink. I know everything's a verticulata now. Everything that we used to know is something else is now verticulata. I don't know what this used to be, but that doesn't really matter since it's not that anymore. And this was a bonus cutting from my friends at Plants Wake You Up. So I'm I'm excited to see what this turns into. The leaves have almost no splash at this point. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on any texture, but they're healthy and dark green and looking well. And it was a nice little thank you included with the shipment. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best with Hoya verticulata pink. So thank you for joining me here for this week's end, where we took a look at some of the new Hoyas and other plants that have joined us in the plant room over the past month. As I look down the list of Hoyas and other plants that I've acquired during March, I realize that we're probably going to need to do a part 2 of this because there's some other stuff that's a little different and didn't make it into this group. I want to do the Anthurium and the Hoyas in this group, and we'll look at some of the other things in the next video. So again, thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for watching.